In last week's video, I taught you how you can come up with your profitable business idea. In this week's video, I have two very special guests here that are going to teach you how you can identify a gap within the market and industry that you decided on, and how you can use that gap to scale your business to 6 figures. I'm so excited. This week I am here with Rena and Mavis, and they own a bricks and mortar and online women's fashion boutique. So as you know, the women's fashion industry is massively oversaturated, and yet they were able to find a gap within the industry and market and use that gap to scale their business to 6 figures within 2 years. And today, they are going to share their success formula with you.
Yeah. And thank you so much for having us.
Yes, and we're going to toast to that because that is an awesome achievement.
Oh, thank you.
I know, it feels good. We always talk about this, about how we don't pause to celebrate those wins. So whenever anyone says it, like you are, we're like, oh right,
she's
we
talking
did
about
that.
us.
Yeah, right.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
6 figures in 2 years is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh, that was interesting. Woo!
All right, that probably means business.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming.
That hits the spot. Thank you.
All right. So before we really get into the tips and techniques that you guys are going to share, why don't you just quickly say what is your business? So your business is called Smithery Style.
Yeah, that's right.
So what is it?
Okay, want to kick it off?
Sure, yeah. So the concept is shop your shape. So basically what we do is we help women identify their body shape, which is the key to good pieces and cuts that flatter. And then we showcase all of our clothes on real women on our website of those different shapes and sizes. So people can either buy with us online, or we have in-person styling appointments.
Okay.
That you can come into our Queen of Spadina studio, or we have a studio in Whitby now, and you can work with a stylist for about an hour. They do your measurements, tell you what shape you are, and then have a little rack prepped for you based on a questionnaire that we send you beforehand. So it's a lot of fun. You try on a bunch of things, and we tell you why it works, which is key for us, is that we wanted to give women tools to go shop not only with us, but also out in the real world as well, right? And not just be like, here's some great pieces, and we don't tell them why.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You want something where you, even when you're shopping online, you see the picture of it on the model, and you're like, wow, that looks great. And then it comes to your house and you're like, oh, this makes me look like a box.
Yeah. So really our goal is to democratize, we say, the principles of personal styling. So the sessions is one way we do that. And then to Mavis's point, giving people the tools, one of the things we've created is called the Shape Finder. So it's a really easy little infographic that you can walk yourself through. And at the end, it'll determine which of kind of the 1 of 5 body shapes you are. So oftentimes when you think body shape, people think about pear or apple or any other given fruit. There are no fruits in the Smithery world, so we've renamed them by letters, X, H, A, B, and O. So you can find all that information on our website, but people do find it really helpful, and I think it's a game changer for a lot of us in how to shop and how to make it more fun, really. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the gap that you identified.
Yeah.
Helping people shop specifically for their shapes rather than just showcasing the clothes.
Yeah.
So how are you able to identify this gap, and how can people apply this method to their specific industries?
Yeah, it really came down to, we were chatting about this a bit earlier, but it really came down to a problem that we had. So our backstory is Rena and I used to work at an ad agency together. Rena was the one that was super stylish in the office and the one that you would be wondering what she's going to wear every day.
Spent a lot of money on clothes.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, didn't like shopping, and I didn't know how to shop. So I'd buy off the mannequin. I'd get it. It wouldn't look like that on me. Rena would give me tips and tricks. I'm like, how do you know this? And she said, this is where a personal stylist starts. So that was sort of our key. So if I'm experiencing that problem, I wonder if any other people are experiencing that problem. So I would say that's your first step. If you're starting a business, is sort of identifying a problem or a gap in the industry, or something you experience yourself, because if that's true, then you're going to be passionate about it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the next thing for us, especially because we were coming from an advertising background, so the first thing was saying, okay, we've identified there is actually a problem and we feel it intensely, so we suspect other people do too. But to not rely on that suspect part. You want to make sure that you can actually validate that as well.
Right.
So we did a little bit of research and found out that actually only 1 in 10 women know their body shape, and that's a terrible number for the world. It's a great number for business, though, because it confirmed that there were a lot of other women out there who'd be into this. And then we did a survey with our friends and family. So don't be afraid. You don't need an expensive research firm. We just sent it out to about 100 and so people. And one of the things that came back to us that a lot of people have considered actually hiring a personal stylist, but for a lot of reasons, namely maybe it's too expensive or they're a little bit intimidated by it.
Right.
They haven't gone ahead with it. So now we know that 1 in 10 people don't know their body shape. We know that lots of people would actually like to have someone help them figure out their body shape and know how to dress for their shape. And then Mavis went on a mission, we'll call it. We sent her out to one of the department stores. I think was it the Bay?
Yeah.
Where they offer personal styling. And so we were able to take from that experience what was really missing and what we wanted to be able to provide for people. And that's where that piece around educating people and not just, hey, put this on, go home, and you actually have no idea why they suggest that for you or how to pair it.
Right. So the next time you go to the store, you know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
As opposed to needing to go back to a personal stylist every single time you want to shop.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so then we've chatted a little bit about it, but what are the 3 biggest tips that you can give to the viewers to scale their business to 6 figures relatively quickly?
Team is like the most fundamental, and
we have a good one.
We have an amazing team. Yeah, we do. We were chatting a little bit before the show that both Mavis and I have had back-to-back mat leaves for that matter too, so it really forced us to build a team and to identify what is the strategy around that. And it doesn't take long, but just really thinking about what are the gaps that we're missing between us and being honest about that with yourselves, and then hiring for people to fill those gaps who complement you. And Mavis had a really good tip, and she'll often pull out a name and like, where did that come from? And she squirrels away in her notes people that she comes across from time to time. That would be a great person for us to be a photographer, or for someone to do digital with us, or another contract worker. And so you're not wasting time when you
scrambling.
when you have the problem, that person is there.
I always keep like this list of people. Even when Rena, we knew that she was like going on mat leave, we didn't know what that looked like, but we'd been working with Susan for a while, and I was like, oh, I feel like she'd be a good fit. Like, so just keeping those people sort of top of mind or in a list that you have that you can pull the trigger on them. The other thing, I just want to make a point to that too, is that because when we make this comment, a lot of people will say, I don't have the money to hire people in the beginning, right? So barter. You can barter. And don't be afraid to barter, right? Like, people are always so scared. So like, we, coming from advertising, we were like, okay, we need a logo, we need branding, and we need brand identity, and we need that first. So we knew some designers, but we didn't have any cash flow.
Yeah, we bootstrapped. I think that's probably a good point for us to make. So everything was personal investment, and even to this day, actually.
Yeah. So we were like, here, we'll give you some clothes if you can do this. And she did it. And people will do it for you. So don't be afraid to ask. Yeah.
And there's also really amazing like freelance websites where you can go and you can have like a contest, a logo contest. Where you say, okay, this is going to be the prize, and a bunch of people will submit. This is how I got my logo. Will submit their submissions, and then you just pick the prize and you award them. You make your prize whatever you are comfortable paying. So $50, $100. And incentivize it.
I have my secret weapon is I did just that. So our developer for our website has been working with us from the beginning. I found him on Upwork. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. It's $14 an hour, my friends.
Yes.
And he's amazing. And he's so good. So those sites vet people for you, and they cover your basis. If anything happens, they handle the payments.
And it allows you to keep your eye on the prize, the big picture, managing the business, and it's everything moving forward instead of trying to figure out how to do things that you don't actually even know how to do.
Exactly. Don't waste your time learning when you could pay a small fee to have somebody do it for you. So I will link a bunch of those websites below as resources in the description if you want to check them out. So there's Upwork, there's Elance, there's a whole bunch of them. So just look below if you're interested, and they'll be there.
Yeah.
So tip number 2.
Okay. I'd say consistency. So that's a huge one in like so many arenas of your business. So forward facing in terms of customers. So in order to create loyal customers and people that come back, you need to create some trust with them. Right. So we are so keen on making sure that we say what we're going to do. be consistent on social media, that we answer customer service emails in a timely fashion. When we're talking about promotion, we actually execute the promotion. So many businesses I know or friends are like, we're gonna do this promotion. They're like, no, I couldn't pull it off, so we didn't do it. Right? And like, what's your customer gonna think? Sort of thing. So we're definitely pride ourselves on that. And then also internally, so as we've been hiring and scaling up, is just making sure that we're hiring people that have the same values as us. And morals, and then also making sure that the message is crystal clear across, and the same message is being delivered by everybody on the team. And that, it seems so simple. It takes a lot of work in order to do that. Yeah. So, but it's so important.
No, and and we, it forced us to create the playbook, and as you're writing that playbook, that in itself forces you to kind of reevaluate and make sure that are you doing the things that you said you wanted to do, and are you executing in a way that's on brand? And then once you have that playbook, that's everybody's operating from the same manual, so to speak. And I think that's a tool that if we didn't have that, who knows what would be happening in the studio. Yeah.
And even with like newsletters, like if you're gonna do newsletters,
we do it every Thursday morning.
Don't be like, what am I time this week? Right?
Exactly. That's like me. I put up my video every Thursday.
Exactly. You have to. Because people are expecting it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of consistency and getting your team to all be delivering the same message, I had an idea of a book that I read that kind of teaches you how to do this and how to come up with your message. It's called Building a Story Brand, and I will link it below as well. Because it was
I'll have to look it up.
For me to help you really come up with the story of your brand and how to make sure that everybody within your circle, within your company, even if it's just you and one other person, delivers the exact same message every time they're asked about the business. Okay, so tip number 3.
Is find your champions. And for us, we put a lot of energy into that, and I think that's also one of the most rewarding parts. And there's a couple of things around that. So this is a world of social media and influencers, and in fact, one of our strategies that's been really successful is to find women to represent those different body shapes who are real women, not necessarily in the fashion world. In fact, most of them aren't. Most of them are small business entrepreneurs, or women whose attitude we just really like, and we invite them to come and be models. And so that has been the thing that leads the decision making. And maybe they have a lot of followers, or maybe they don't, but because we create a good connection with them and they get really into the business, their influence has impacted the business in spades. So that's one of the things is champion for your business, or people who want to spread the word may not be at face value the people who have the most followers.
I would say on top of that is that we really focus on nurturing those existing customers rather than, because so many people do promotion to try and attract new customers. We're always thinking through what can we reward our existing customers with to be loyal. So we'll give them VIP codes, that kind of thing, instead of always trying to do them outwardly, trying to get more followers or new customers.
Okay, so then on the flip side of what pushed your business forward, when you're a mom and you're trying to build a business, you're very limited in your time. So what did you find didn't move the needle for you? What was unhelpful when you didn't get a good return on your investment, so other people can kind of learn from your missteps and kind of avoid falling into the same time wasting trap?
We have a few good examples of that. You wouldn't be a business in your 4th year if you didn't have a few in hindsight 2020 things. So let's share some of those. In terms of an actual investment, and then we can talk about maybe some more philosophical things, but we had invested in a data analytics platform, and I went to a workshop or a presentation and got totally ooh, this sounds amazing.
Shiny object syndrome.
We could really use one of those, and the guy did a really slick pitch for us, and we spent a fair bit of money on that. And the reality is, at the end of the day, it's just, you have to be realistic with yourself about how much capacity do you have internally to manage new tools like that. Once that supplier is gone, do you even really know what to do with it? So that has kind of gone by the wayside, and we continue to use the free tools actually that are within Shopify, which are amazing, and Google Analytics. So
I think that's the first tip for that, is before you're about to pull the trigger on something like that, look to see if there's any freebies, available, and kind of do that research before you just jump in. Full force.
And is that enough? most of the time the freebies are enough.
You know, and how big is the learning curve for this new tool that I want to use? Like, is it going to be worth the time that I'm going to have to invest?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And am I going to put in the time?
Yeah.
Like that was the thing for us. He set us up, and then we were like, I don't know how to read this or do this or have time to do that. Like, on the regular. I'd say another one, definitely in our first like couple of years, we were just so excited to be asked to do anything. We just say yes to everything.
Right.
So for us, that meant a lot of, in our particular instance, what that meant is doing pop-ups. So a lot of people would ask us to come to like National Women's Day or all of these sort of things. And we would just say yes all the time. We weren't really thinking about how much was it actually going to cost us to be there, and what our goals to be there were for. We were just like, wow, they asked us. So we just said yes to everything. And there's a lot of like schlepping and time wasted and for like no return, right? In terms of that. So we're much better at that now. So I would say when it comes to different parts of your business, like set the goals or objectives for that. So now when we have goals and objectives for pop-ups that we do, right? So is this, we want sales from this one, or is it for awareness, right? Is it, if we're building a new customer base, like we try and focus outside the GTA, like, so it's just thinking through those things instead of being like enamored that
And then
somebody loves you.
Does this invitation align with what my goal is for this? And if it's yes, then you do it. But if it's a no, then you decline.
Yeah.
You cannot say yes to everything.
That's right. And it's also okay to say maybe later too, because we've had some instances where we're like, oh, we want to do this. We have so much going on. We've done this where we've said yes, and then the month comes where you have to do all the things, and you're like, oh, why did I do this?
I think, and that happens a lot when it's your own business, because you tend not to actually, I think, place value on your time in the same way that you do if you're paying employees. So if you, same business opportunity, or maybe not a business opportunity, but same event, say, and if it takes 25 or 30 hours between from the beginning of that to the end of that effort, when it's yourself, somehow you kind of don't actually, like, the penny doesn't drop. When you're paying somebody, it does. So literally putting on paper, how much energy am I going to expend on this? Yeah.
Well, this has been super helpful and super exciting, and I hope everyone at home take a lot of value away from it. So please let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from Rena and Mavis's tips and how you plan on implementing them. If you like this video, definitely make sure you hit the like button, share it with your friends. And if you want to check out Smithery Style, I will leave the links in the description box below to their social media and to their website. And I will see you back here next week. Hit subscribe and the bell, and cheers!
Cheers! Thank you.